business called Third Street Stuff since '89. The coffee shop, though, is 14 years old. I watched Starbucks develop, and I loved espresso. And so I added coffee to the handmade products, and then the coffee was taking up more and more time and more space, and gradually it just changed to coffee and a few little things on the side, but mostly coffee and coffee things. We raise money and give money to lots of local nonprofits. This weekend we're doing the Lyric Theater. We've done ACLU Kentucky, and we have done Kentucky Refugee Ministries, and so that it sort of indirectly promotes us. It generates good community spirit. People want to support us because we're supporting them. I love this community, and I love that it embraces art and it embraces diversity. It's so diverse, and I think that's really important to our economy and to our arts, that we have ideas coming from everywhere, from everywhere. We have input, clothing or words or something, input from all over the world, and I think that's really important to fertilize local arts and culture. I love that input from everywhere.
Shop locally and try to source things locally, it keeps money going back to your neighbors and your fellow citizens. But the best form of advertising is word of mouth. When people telling other people about what we do, about everything, it lets us grow at a gradual, sustainable pace instead of having a massive influx of people that we're not able to take good care of and maintain. By growing gradually and growing slowly, I think that that's the best way for us to keep growth stable, take care of everyone, and do what we do best, which is customer service. Other business goals that we have are making sure that everyone's taken care of, customer service, growing it, making sure that we're doing everything that we can, and then trying to, it's a juggling thing. You've got to have a lot of balance to make sure that if it's something that you should be doing, that you're doing it, and if you miss it, just apologize and do the best you can.
Fred Mills. I'm the manager of the Kentucky Theater here in Lexington, Kentucky. I started working at the theater in 1963 as I had a part-time job one summer, and continued to work here through high school as well as attending college at EKU in Richmond, and graduated from EKU in 1970 with a teaching degree. You know, the Kentucky Theater is an independent theater. It's not part, as you mentioned, a chain like Cinemark or Regal. There's nothing wrong with them, but I think that locally that people, have a better identification with, and probably I would venture to say that maybe other theater managers, I know my audience, and I can stand in the lobby, and I know lots of folks' name, their first name, their last name, what kind of car they drive, maybe where they work. I know the type of films that they like. We get a lot of suggestions, people send a lot of emails. They feel more involved, I think, with the theater, and this is their theater. The business itself is locally owned by 3 individuals that have grown up here in Lexington and think a whole lot about this community and how special this community is, and we want to make this theater everybody's theater, and make sure that it always remains that way. You know, there's when you really think about it, I think that we're fortunate that we do have a lot of folks that have been able to maybe pass along that business to their children, and they've been keeping it going for a number of years.
My name is Alan, and I'm actually the marketing director for A Cup of Commonwealth and for Chocolate Holler. So I do anything from like branding, design stuff, social media, donations, art, music, kind of like the things that people, I guess, like perceive from the front end. So we're kind of like the communication between what people perceive and what we do. And Laura and myself, there's 2 of us who work on the marketing team. Importance of shopping locally. So this shop is very based on community, and that's even in the mission statement. It's embrace community, serve others, and create culture. So I think part of embracing the community is shopping locally and supporting each other. So I think that we have great connections built up with other local businesses, and part of people, shopping small at like A Cup of Commonwealth as opposed to other, more chain places. It's what makes this space a little bit more special. I think that the customer service and the community aspect of a local place, it just makes it more appealing. The people who you walk in every day, and see the same people, and they start to get to know you. So I just think it's that family vibe that local businesses have that makes it contagious. With any like additional money that we make throughout a year, it's either like donated or put toward another project to start up. And so we actually are not a super profitable company, but we are a lot more interested in investing that back into this community. So I think it's just important to build up Lexington, make it a really, really cool, awesome place for people to come, kind of like a destination city. Everything has its place. I think chain restaurants have their place. I think, local grocery stores, as do Kroger and bigger grocery stores, all have their place for their market. So I don't think that there's any bad thing about what a chain restaurant would be. I don't think there's any bad thing about a place like that, because I think they have their spot. But there is this cool aspect of a local place. It just feels like a family. I think it is cool, and I've said this already, but I think it's cool with the local spot how you can feel like you're walking into a living room, and that's kind of something I think that we try to create here.